Tri-City Sports Now, I'm Marky Bilson. What should I tell you here? Well, I wanted to discuss, and I'm the only guy that does the hockey playoffs because I know a lot of times it gets past people. I know a lot of people who are talking during the national sports talk shows. Oh, look, the Clippers came from behind. The Warriors might be getting a little ball to be played. In terms of Nashville, they hope that there's not a lot of hockey to be played, at least not against the Stars. And they were able to basically control the game early and often. In fact, it was Rocco Grimaldi, who's one of the players, the role players that had to step up, and Alex Doherty, we'll talk to him tomorrow. He was one of the guys that he circled, but he lights the lamps and puts the Predators on top early yesterday.
Mackey for Subban, quickly up for Grimaldi. Grimaldi on the attack, trying to go in front, and the score as the puck was tipped in. Kelly Yarncrook breaking in front. 1-0 Nashville at 3:29 of period number 2.
Oh, I got to thank them for reciting the box score right there in the broadcast, aren't they? And then, really, in some ways, this might have been the goal that put the game away. Philip Forsberg scores a little bit of the playoff series. Here we go.
Ben down the left wing. Got a shot away as Ellis was backpedaling. Medina flips the puck ahead. Flag down Forsberg. Forsberg breaks in and he scores. What a beautiful clear, and Philip Forsberg converts. 2-0 Nashville at 14:35.
Want to get that, so it's 2-0, but then the Stars come back. We said it was going to be a low-scoring series, and it is, unless it, after the 3-on-3, after 5 minutes left, I hate that 3-on-3. I mean, the shootout I'm okay with. Folks, I'm not so totally a traditionalist that anything new coming down the pike I got to go frown on. But then again, in baseball, it seems to me that they want to say that the game that actually ruled America for a century, there was something inherently wrong with that. And that's going to be a problem. Baseball is getting all too politically correct. I may have a story to sort of talk about that here. Preds leading the Stars, but they come back. Michael Granlund, of all people, becomes the hero for Smashville.
Face off to the left of Ben Bishop. It comes back to Fabro at the right point. Granlund up the board toward the point. Throws a shot. He goes in. Mikael Granlund scores, just turning from inside the blue line at the right point. Predators retake the lead 3-2.
So the Predators win the game 3-2. They now lead the best of 7 series opening run against the Stars 2-1. A lot of teams are in, a lot of Penguins and the Lightning, both down 3-0. Penguins, maybe that's not so much of a surprise, although they dominated hockey just a couple of years ago. Well, it's not a couple of years ago. And for that matter, the Islanders had a better record this year. They were going to have the home ice. A sentimentalist like me says, the Islanders are playing in Nassau Coliseum again. They're not playing in Brooklyn. They never should have gone in Brooklyn, etc., etc., etc. The other thing about the hockey playoffs, of course, was the surprise of Columbus, where and I've often talked about, should we kind of like the Columbus Blue Jackets a little bit more around here? I mean, Kingsport to Columbus, Ohio, that's just a straight shot up 80. They think that Virginia Tech is the home team around here, and for that matter, it's a straight shot up or down 81. Well, I know you got to go on to 40 or whatever, but come on, to get to Knoxville. So, and again, nobody really talks about the straight shot of, let's say, Johnson City to Columbia on 26, or even Asheville. Anyway, the Lightning, they have finally met their match, is what the reporters are writing about. And it is themselves that they're down 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Of course, Nikita Kucherov, who had the best season Mario Lemieux played. And since Mario Lemieux played the first time, player had in since the mid-90s. I'm trying to recall exactly Lemieux's year. I think it was 95 that Lemieux scored more than 128 points. No one, not Sidney Crosby, not Alexander Ovechkin, no one, not Eric Lindros, has scored as many as Kucherov's 128 points has this year. And of course, the Lightning had the best regular season offensive performance in the league. They had 62 victories, which tied the NHL record. They won the President's Trophy, and as soon as everybody said, oh, best record in hockey, you don't win the Stanley Cup, which the Predators fans know all about. But it really just, this is so easy to pick. Look for the Lightning. It was Tampa Bay and Columbus. Hasn't worked out that way. And, you even had on defense, the Lightning. They've got maybe the best. I know the PK Subban fans, but his play has gone down. Just look at the plus minus. But Victor Hedman, probably the best blue liner in the NHL. I mean, he's keeping it in the zone, all this sort of stuff. You have got John Cooper, who might be Coach of the Year. That's a Jack Adams trophy. This was supposedly, the Lightning had to play their last game without Nikita Kucherov, and that because Kucherov was suspended for a game for a hard hit on Marcus Nudivara back on Friday in a 5-1 home loss to Columbus. And then Hedman had an undisclosed injury, so he's out. And all of a sudden, it's time for the Blue Jackets to make a run. They may be able to close it out in the Nationwide Arena. You remember that's where ETSU played Cincinnati back in 2004 in the NCAA tournament. You might be able to see them, the Blue Jackets, put out a tremendous, what Tiger Woods, what a tremendous, how improbable it was. Look, it's not, say, the U.S. Olympians beating the Russians in 1980. I mean, after all, these are professionals, and it's not that big of a deal when, say, the 8th place team beats the 1st place team in any sport. Of course, doing it 4 times in a row, well, then you just say they kind of had their number. When you don't have the players, etc., etc. And yes, I do know the story about how Victor Tidakov pulled his goalie in the, semifinals of the 1980 Olympics. I mean, I get that. But that 3-1 victory, the opening round series of last Sunday night, and the Blue Jackets can put it away tonight, this to me is a far greater upset than Tiger Woods winning the Masters. Absolutely. Don't bet against greatness. And Woods, his greatness, because he was kind of coming on. And there were some improved performances over the course of his play after he began his comeback. Masters is still surprising, like the Blue Jackets taking a 3-0 lead and being able to close out the Lightning tonight. Of course, in hockey, coming back from the 3-0 deficit, it's not that unusual. Well, I shouldn't say it's not that unusual. It's happened before. It is unusual. It's happened. But there's no home ice advantage. 2-2 each way. Yeah. Lightning would get the 7th game at home, and then they'd pretty much have the momentum if it went that far. But that's one of the things that I don't like about hockey playoffs. The Lightning, they won 62 games. That's the NHL record. And they don't play for the Stanley Cup? Why did we play the regular season? And yeah, I didn't like it when Joey Logano won the race for the cup, or whatever you want to call it, the NASCAR playoff or anything. I thought that was cheap. I do think that, the amazing thing is here we have Virginia, who wins the national championship in basketball, in the NET ratings. They had been number 1 pretty much all year long. But still, it's one thing for the 2nd place team in the playoffs to beat the 3rd demonstratively. Especially when, as I said to you, hey, you know what? Barry Trotz, who only won a Stanley Cup last year, he's behind the Islanders bench, and the Pens are still trying to figure out what their lines are. It's another when a glamour team of hockey, and yeah, the Penguins are, but certainly are the Tampa Bay Lightning as well, with their offensive firepower. That's not a good look. Yeah. By the way, what is a good look to the reinforcement, Nikita Gusev, who was the leading scorer in the K play for the Vegas Golden Knights, shot in the arm. I'm surprised they allow it, but then again, they want more stars in the NHL, especially if the Pens and Lightning are going to make early exits. And by the way, another guy making an exit, Joe Thornton, is suspended for a game. He will be out for the San Jose Sharks in Game 4 of their playoffs against the Vegas Golden Knights. So things looking up down in Vegas. TV markets. Hey, in a few minutes, I'm going to talk to Caleb Calhoun of All for Tennessee. Let's talk. Have a coming out party, or is it all for naught? Tri-City Sports Now.